is going on, everyone, and welcome to Kart 6T3. My name is Ben. Thank you very, very much for stopping by and checking out my channel. On this channel, we do tips and tricks. We do some theorem. I talk about stuff that, you know, kart racers might like to know about what to do on track, what not to do on track, all sorts of stuff. Real quick before we get into the video, if you didn't mind hitting a like on the video, possibly subscribing to the channel if this type of content is useful to you. There, now all that shtick is out of the way. I feel like a radio announcer sometimes when I'm doing that stuff. Welcome to Kart 6. Anyway, it's cold in the barn again, but I'm a trooper. I'm a trooper. I'm coming out here. I spent the past couple weeks on and off getting to actually work on the karts a little bit, working on some body work on the Recon, replacing the front end stuff on the Scythe. So I was like, you know what? Everything's out here already. I'm just going to go out. It's not quite cold weather breath, but I come out here and get a video done while it's okay. It's cold, but it's okay. Today, we are going to talk about short run speed versus long run speed. Which one are you going to take? Huh? Which do you like that burst of speed at the beginning of the run, really shoot out there and, you know, show people it's up? Or do you prefer to set up your kart or your tires for the long run for that full 20 laps to where people are starting to fade off and you're just coming on? So let me collect my thoughts here and I'll be right back. Okay, first, what would determine what you have? Do you have short run speed or do you have long run speed? Now, a bit of it is going to be in the track. Is it going to break down? Is it going to, when people are, when karts are running on it, is it gonna, you know, get a little gritty? Is it gonna, you know, are people going to get into the berm a little bit and kick up stuff throughout that? We're not really talking about that. We're just, you know, we're gonna take the degradation of the track out of the equation because it's really not, you know, a track doesn't change that much. It may change from, you know, noon till, you know, nighttime with dew point and all that stuff, the moisture coming up through the soil. It may do that, but we're talking about when your tires hit the track for 20 laps, the track isn't going to change. It's pretty much going to be the same. So what is the determining factor in that? Really, not only a little bit of setup, but basically tires. What we're talking about is if your tires are a little softer, they're going to have a tendency to fire off quicker. They're going to have a tendency to build up that heat, which grips quicker, which is going to give you tremendous start speed. You're going to shoot right out there. Corners are not going to be a problem. You're going to have max grip right away. But there could be a problem there. Now, the harder tire, you know, isn't going to fire off as quick. You know, maybe you're on the front row and maybe your tires don't fire off real quick and you get freight trained a little bit. But is there something to be gained in the long run? So basically what we're talking about here is tires. Do you choose softer tires or do you choose harder tires when I'm discussing this subject? All right, first things first, softer tires. This is what typically a lot of people will do. They think I have a lack of grip. So they're going to go back to their pits, they're going to clean their tires, and they're just going to go at their tires with all sorts of prep. And what that's going to do in most cases, unless you're running a prep that doesn't do it, but it is going to soften the tire. It is going to reduce the durometer. Say it'll take a 55 down to a 45. Well, this is going to create a tremendous amount of grip in the beginning of a run, and this is going to shoot you right out. This might be a good choice for, say, a qualifying race. If you're running qualifiers, if you're running heat races at your local track, or if it's a big race or whatever, if they're doing just that, if it's going to be a short 6, 8, 10 lap sprint, maybe a softer tire is what you're going to need. Now, I will say that even in a 10 lap heat race, you're going to have that fall off point start to, you know, sneak its way in there. So you may be able to burst out for the first 5, but those tires, if they are too soft, are really going to heat up too quickly, and you're really going to start to feel the bad side of having soft tires. They are going to heat up, and when they heat up, the pores, the tread is going to open up. It is going to start to absorb dirt. Once you start absorbing dirt, you start to lose traction. So there's a great side to having soft tires. If you're thinking, man, I just need more grip, If you go soft, your tendency, I would say, is you're going to have a short run speed. It's going to grip right off the bat, but once you start leaning on one of those tires, if you're on your right rear too much and you overheat your right rear, it may go away. Your grip may go away if you're running too soft of a tire. Okay, and on to the opposite of that. If you're running too hard of tires, or if you're running a harder tire. Now, those people that did the softer tires and they burst right out, you're gonna feel a little defeated at first. I am one of these people who does just this. I would rather have my tires set up for a bit of a longer run. Start off with a little bit of a harder durail, maybe get a little more aggressive on my pre-race wave to attempt to fire them off a little bit quicker so they come in. But as you're hoping for a 20-lap run, as those people who went with a slightly softer tire out there, you're hoping that your tires now are just coming to you. That heat level is just starting to gain. You're starting to gain max traction when it counts most. Now, this can be a problem. This can be a problem like, did you time it incorrectly? Did you run too hard of a duro? In the soft section, I say you went from a 55 down to a 45. Well, what if you went out there with a 60? When optimum durometer might be a 50, something like that. Well, it's going to take your tires conceivably 10 to 15 laps to really fire off. And can you make those passes? Passing karts ain't just all of a sudden, my tires came on and I was just able to whip by. You have to do setup sometimes. So harder tires, I like the long run speed when everybody else is, everybody just get, they get super excited off the start and everybody's going, it's sprint laps, see where you can get your position up to type thing. Maybe you can get up to the front, maybe you can lead laps, but in the long run, as people start to lose grip, if they're slipping out, they can't hold it down in the turns, you're able to pass people at will type of thing. Do you have enough time once your tires come on to go ahead and get yourself back into the lead? Sticky situation. That timing thing takes lots of time to figure out whether or not you're running too hard or too soft compound. So in conclusion, what's the best bet? Probably a medium type tire. Something that's going to hit right in the center. Maybe for, like I said, in a heat race, maybe you're going to want that softer compound to give you that burst speed, to give you that front row or near the front row to take off in your main race. But the harder compound, there is also, you're going to have to factor this into. We are not in a perfect sport. You do not run all the time 8-lap heats. You do not run all the time 20-lap heats without cautions. Now this comes into play as well. If you chose a softer compound, if you get cautions, you are getting a chance to cool your tires down. So they may very well be good for that last sprint. Say you get one, you get a caution at halfway. Say you get a caution at 15 laps into a 20-lap run, and you get a chance to get out of the line, get in some of that dirty stuff, maybe cool them down right, where the karts aren't running. You can, you're going slower, so heat's going to dissipate out of your tires a little bit. You're going to gain back some of that traction that you started to lose, so a softer tire might be. But you're banking on a caution. If you run that soft compound, you're banking on those cautions coming out to where you can cool your tires down for another burst run towards the end of the race. To whereas if you're running a really hard compound, your stuff may be just coming on, and say you get that 15-lap caution. And all of a sudden it's like, oh man, your tires are just starting to fire off. Well, now those are going to cool down, and now you're back to, square one again. Did you just cost yourself the race because now your tires are not going to fire off as quick and you're going to get freight trained? You're not going to be able to build that heat up for that last sprint there. So a medium compound, while it doesn't fire off, as fast for that good, at the beginning or after a caution, maybe it doesn't come on as good as a harder compound to the end of the round. If you can balance that knife's edge, if you can find that medium compound right there, I'm talking about compound, I'm talking about durometer, you find that medium number that you're looking for that, won't fade too much after a restart, and you're not giving up too much at the end of the run. Oh, it is a It is a tough battle to go at, and then you factor in what kind of prep you're running. You know, does it fire off after a heat race or after a caution? Does it, you know, these are, people think karts are these simple little things. Oh, they're just go-karts. There's nothing much to them. Oh, contraire, mon frere. Oh my goodness. The tires alone, the amount of tire knowledge alone to be, you know, that what I talk about, that elite level, that where you whatever track you show up to, you are that guy to be. You know, it's that knowledge alone is indispensable. You know, it's something I strive for. I strive for showing up the track no matter what I'm running, what class I'm running, where in the United States I would go with, say, my UAS ride. You know, I strive to want to be that elite level, that it doesn't matter where I go, that my knowledge can carry over and I can go out to a track and be like, yeah, we're running this, we're doing that, and be very decisive. But there are all these factors. Do I want the sprint speed? Knowing full well that, say, take a Grand National, you know, I just did last September down in Georgia. We had quite a few cautions. Did I need that sprint speed, or like the end of that race, if you want to go watch that, my Grand National run, that towards the end, we didn't have a lot of cautions. Yes, there were karts kind of being spit out and braking and pulling off and what have you, but I had a little bit more of that long run speed. Still not enough to keep with it, you know, the super fast guys. Evan C. was gone pretty much, but still, that I had that long run speed to where I wasn't falling into the clutches of anybody behind me, and I was still what I felt like was moving forward, or at least not losing speed. You know, that was probably the best bet. So I prefer a little harder tire to be stronger at the end of the run, but you're taking your chances. You really are. You know, do you get a caution with 2 to go, and you know, maybe it's a bad caution, maybe, you know, it's a 5-10 lap caution where just pace around, you know, people can't get their crap off the track, and your tires really do cool down, and then you don't have that burst speed at the end. So something to kind of throw out there. You know, I thought it would be kind of a fun topic. You know, it definitely something for your newcomers to consider, that, you know, just doping the crap out of your tires is not always the answer. You do not want to get your duro too soft sometimes, because it can cost you in a long run. You know, sometimes I do see, you know, the what is it, the 212 or something like that. There'll be a 200 lap race for, say, a Predator class or something, like even a 60 lap race or 50 lap race. That's a lot of freaking laps, man. Now, if you go out there with too soft a tire, you are going to be on ice for quite a bit of that run if you're building up any temperature at all. So careful with that. Just thought I'd get in here and pick your brains on something, give you my take on what may or may not happen. We're talking about short run speed or long run speed in kart racing. I know, you know, we are a sprint class. Basically, 20 laps is not NASCAR. We're not running, you know, the Daytona 500 here. But we do have our version of short run and long run within those 20 laps. And I watch motocross all the time, Supercross. I absolutely love the sport, Supercross. I'm going to watch it tonight. And the same thing, they have sprint speed, but they cannot sprint for 20 straight laps, kind of like karts. You know, you want to go ham the entire time. But your tires, your setup may not allow for that. So sometimes you have to pace yourself. Sometimes you may have to conserve yourself a little bit. And whether that, you know, maybe that's, you know, how you prep your tires. Maybe you're not going as aggressive with your tires to, you know, allow yourself for that late run speed. So just I'd throw it out there. Thought it'd be a fun video to do. And, you know, not as I was going to do, you know, change some stuff on my my chassis and do another instructional video. But I thought, this, you know, I got to balance those things out. They're useful, yes, but they're kind of not a ton of fun for me. This theorem, talking about racing, is a lot of fun for me to do, and I enjoy this part as well. So, all right, guys, I really do appreciate you. I hope you're enjoying the Track Tech series. I'm going to try and continue to do that every Thursday, releasing a new video on a Track Tech product every week. Until I get into the swing of things, we get out of this cold weather, and then I can start doing more of these. But I really do appreciate every single one of you coming by, and we will see you on Thursday and then next Sunday. So, all right, later.